podcast is for you if you are a woman in business, if you have a business idea, if networking scares you, if you're an introvert, if you've never been to a networking event before and you're worried about going maybe, if you're growing a business at any stage in the business journey, if you are searching for a genuine community of women, if you're looking for advice and support about business. I'm Martina and welcome to Women-Inspired Networking Conversations, the podcast. Now, if you're a woman in business who's ever been nervous about networking, felt intimidated about the salesy approach that most networking events have, then this is for you. This podcast is all about real conversations. No fluff, no pressure, just real conversations with other women in business who understand the journey. Welcome to the podcast. I hope you enjoy. Grab a coffee and let's chat. Welcome to the Women-Inspired Networking Conversations podcast. I'm Martina, I am your host, and we are here to talk about all things networking. We're going to bust myths, we're going to give tips and tricks on how to get the most out of your networking, and let's be honest and tell the truth about networking. Today's episode is really an introduction to me, Women-Inspired Network, why we started, and what you can expect from this podcast. I'm Martina and I am a mum of two and I am juggling everything. Work life, mum life, wife life, everything that you can imagine, all those hats we wear. I'm juggling it all. And I remember starting my first business in network marketing, selling aloe vera products. And I still love them now. Don't get me wrong. It's still a huge part of my life. But through that business, I went to networking events and I decided to go with some that are women only because I thought I'd feel a little bit more comfortable. However, I was so scared on my first event. But anyways, that's another story. I attended these events and within about 6 months, the lady who was running them came to me and said, I'm leaving. Do you fancy running them? Would you like to run them? And I was like, no, absolutely not. I don't not need any more on my workload. No, thank you. I wanted the group to continue. I really liked the ladies that were going. So I agreed and started running networking events for a company. And it was all good. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I learned so much. My network exploded through doing this. And I realized that I really, really loved bringing people together. I loved running networking events. But I realized that I was building someone else's dreams and not mine. And I had quite specific things that I wanted to do. I wanted to expand. I wanted to make more money. I wanted to help more people. But I just couldn't do that working for someone else. So I started to look to do it for myself. I kept seeing a repeating pattern with the events that I was running. I'd see really nervous people book on with all good intention, but never show up. And a part of me kind of knew that they were just nervous. They were just really nervous. I remember back to my first event and I was really nervous too. So of course they wouldn't show up. And the people that did show up, I saw a lot of people standing on their own or looking at their phone, sitting on their own at the table, like just scrolling on their phone, looking down. And it broke my heart that these people felt so worried about coming and so worried about speaking. So when I decided to do it myself, I took all of these things on board and I realized I had a niche. And it was the female introverted business owner who was maybe anxious or nervous or scared or hadn't been to networking before because they'd heard all these horror stories. And that's how Women-Inspired Network came about. But I definitely wanted it all to be about connection because when I saw people connect, when I brought people together and they started collaborating, I loved it. And the reviews that I was getting were phenomenal. Every event I had people saying to me, I leave buzzing and inspired and I really want to move my business forward. And I was really stuck in a rut, but now I'm not. And I've met the most wonderful group of people today. And I thought, that's it. That's it. That it's about connection over anything, not sales, not pitching. It's about connection. So when I was developing Women-Inspired Network, I was taking all these things on board. I definitely wanted there to be no public speaking because a lot of people get really nervous about public speaking, even if it's to like 20 people. So a lot of networking groups that I know exist, when it's your turn, you stand up. You tell everybody what you do, you sit down. The next person stands up, they tell everyone what they do, they sit down. The next person stands up and tells them what they do and sits down. Now, I don't know about you. I'm bored. I am bored out of my brains at this point. I've heard 3 people talk and I'm just like, I'm thinking about what we've got for dinner, what time I need to pick the children up from school. I'm thinking about my to-do list. So listening to everybody individually is great because they think they get to speak to the whole room. But are the whole room listening? Because we are very easily distracted. If you are not someone that is on our radar, if you are not someone that your business is interesting to us, and I mean that with the utmost respect, then we're going to zone out. And we don't want that. So there is no public speaking. There is no time to get bored at Women Inspired Network. I found that by having one-to-one connections, or maybe groups of 3, maybe 4, is so much more interactive. It's so much more connecting. You get to find out about the person, not just what they do. It's not just an elevator pitch. I want to get to know the real you. I don't want to get to know the pitch you've put on a piece of paper to tell the world what you do. I want to know what you actually do. What do you actually do? Who are you looking to connect with? Who do you want to collaborate with? Who's going to help you move your business forward? What parts are you finding challenging? So I found that by having small group networking, it's so much more inviting for not only the anxious business owner and the more nervous business owner, but actually you get to know each other on a much deeper level. So at Women Inspired Network, there is no public speaking. You do not have to worry. You will not have to speak in front of a group of people. There's also no sales pitches. This sounds bizarre because in traditional networking, you would stand up and tell the room what you do on your elevator pitch. I just don't think that sells because it's not genuine. It's not what rolls off the tongue naturally. You've come up with it at some point and written it down and repeated it again and again and again and again and again until it flows. Telling people who you are, telling people what you want to achieve, telling people what your goals are, telling people where you want to be in the next 10 years, telling someone who you want to collaborate with, that is where the real connection happens. So no sales pitches, no public speaking. And that just takes all the pressure off. It's much more natural. It's much more authentic. And you're not performing in front of a group of people. Instead, you're having real connections with people. You're making those real connections, those real conversations. At Women Inspired Network, you can expect small group networking. That might be speed networking, one-to-one, or it might be groups of 3, or maybe groups of 4 if it's a slightly bigger group. And you can come along at any stage of the business journey. So you might just have a business idea and just want some support, some help, maybe someone to point you in the right direction. You could have just started a business and want to grow that and grow your reach, or you could be really established in your business and be company director, looking to scale and grow. You can come at any point in the business journey whatsoever. For me, the online directory is something that makes us really different. This is something that I came up with when I was working for the company that I used to work for. And I realized that once you leave the room, that's it. I mean, how do you contact these people again? So I came up with the directory initially so that people could contact each other afterwards. So the directory will have a picture of them. It will have a little description about what they do, all their social media links and their website links. And what it means is that even after the session, if you haven't quite built up the courage to go and speak to everybody, or if you haven't had time to speak to everyone, you could go back, go follow these people, go stalk them, go follow them, go message them, and go and connect afterwards as well. And I think that is really valuable because I don't know any other group where you can literally connect with every single person in the room on a deep level if you want to. Don't get me wrong, you have to put the effort in, but it just means you've got access to these people and you can go back to it later on. Even if you don't know anybody before you come, you can recognize a couple of the people. So it means the anxious people are A, more likely to turn up, but B, get more out of it. And then when you're there, even more so, you're not saying to people, what do you do? What do you do? You know that this person does travel and you don't need to ask her that question. You can ask her, who are you looking to collaborate with? How's your travel business going? What have you got going on? What projects are you working on? Are you working on any promotions? Who are you looking to connect? What's your favorite kind of holiday? And going over to a travel agent and saying, hi, oh my gosh, I saw you do travel. Where's the best place that you've ever been? That's going to get connection much more than, hi, what do you do? So inside the Facebook group, Women Inspired Network, feel free to go search it. We are full to the brim of kind, supportive, welcoming ladies. I seem to attract the most wonderful group of women. And I totally believe that that kindness that is the foundation of the group is what leads to the connection. If you've got your guard down, if you're not pretending to be someone that you're not, that kindness leads to a genuine connection. And naturally, the more you see these people, that genuine connection turns into a collaboration. And that's where the magic happens. We have so many people that have collaborated. And even over the last year that Women Inspired Network has been running, I'm definitely going to bring some of these people onto the podcast to tell you their story, because I just won't do it justice. But every single session, someone tells me they've made a genuine connection or they're now going to collaborate with someone. And watching these collaborations blossom is just, it's cheesy as it sounds, but it's really heartwarming. Okay, so what can you expect from this podcast? We're going to do weekly episodes. Sometimes it might just be me. Sometimes I'll bring my amazing leaders who run events in different areas. We might have our guest speakers and maybe some of our members too, to tell you what they get out of networking and their tips. We're going to be talking about the reality of networking. This is not your corporate networking. This is not your business card exchange. This is real networking, how to get the most out of it, what to say, what not to say. This podcast is going to give you the reality of networking. If you're new to networking, this is going to be great. If you have been doing networking for ages, then this is going to be really great. We're going to talk about the good. We're going to talk about the very awkward. And we're going to talk about the truth of networking. We're also going to cover a little bit on confidence and mindset, because I think those things really, really help everyone's business journey. This podcast is for you if you are a woman in business, if you have a business idea, if networking scares you, if you're an introvert, if you've never been to a networking event before and you're worried about going maybe, if you're growing a business at any stage in the business journey, if you are searching for a genuine community of women, if you're looking for advice and support about business, if you're looking for more business friends, and I think if you're just looking for support, there's a space for you in this podcast, whatever stage of business you are at. Over the next few weeks, I'm going to be chatting to a few of our leaders about the reality of networking. Next week, I'm chatting to our leader, Gemma, who runs our Felixstowe events, about our first networking experiences. Thanks so much for listening, and I'll see you next week. Thank you so much for being here and listening with us today. If you're loving the podcast and want to find out more about our Women Inspired Network events, then find out more on www.womeninspirednetwork.com/events. Or you can connect with us on Facebook under Women Inspired Network, or follow along on Instagram under women_inspired_network. And of course, subscribe to this podcast so that you don't miss an episode. I'll see you next week for another honest conversation.